Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back to Here's the Thing with Kendra and Noah.
For episode 8, today's topic is requested by not one but two people. First person is our OG fan, Travis. Shout out to you, Travis.
Day one.
And second is one of my very best friends, Lydia. So shout out to you also, Lydia. Love you. Today we're talking about
The Midwest versus the West Coast.
Yeah. I'd say we're experts on living in the Midwest, and we're what's entry level,
Right, yeah. I wouldn't say novice,
into the West Coast.
A few years under
I'm
our
trying
belt.
to think of what
Yeah.
people who start out at a job are. Can you tell I don't really work? No, I'm just kidding. I do, but I'm a nanny, so that's not like you don't really get promoted,
level,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think is the biggest difference?
Biggest difference?
Yeah, or one of the biggest.
One of the biggest has to be the one everyone thinks about immediately, which is traffic.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say weather, but yes.
Oh, yeah, weather too,
but
for
yes,
sure.
traffic. Yeah,
But-
no, let's talk about traffic because. Listen, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people go, I don't know how you live. I couldn't deal with the traffic. Like, you get used to it, okay? You get used to it.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a thing where it's like, it doesn't really bother me unless I'm in a rush, which is usually my own fault. So I can't even really be mad.
Yeah, and I mean, early on when I didn't understand it as well, I was a little more frustrated if I had to go to Santa Monica for something and I was on the 405 and I was like, why is this taking so long? It's not that far.
I mean, the 405 is just awful.
Yeah, now that
also,
I understand
but-
those things, I know that if I'm going to Santa Monica, I'm going to need to leave an hour early at least.
Yeah.
Depending upon when I'm leaving, you know?
Right. But now I kind of I don't know, I just listen to music or
Or a podcast.
a good podcast. I could think of one.
Wow, yeah. That's such a good idea.
And I just turn on that and I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the driving. Also, when I first moved out here, I will say that the 6 lanes terrified me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I've never, I'm used to 2-lane traffic, never driven in a city or a big highway or anything like that. And I was so scared because it's just a lot. There's just a lot of people on the road at once. But I got used to it quicker than I thought I would. And now I'm just whatever. And I don't want to say cut people off, but you learn that you just have to.
For sure.
And it's you're not trying to be mean, but people do it to you and you're yeah, whatever. I understand you were over on the far right lane and now you need to get off to your exit. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, you know?
Right.
But when my parents visit, my mom freaks out.
Yeah.
She can't handle it. She cannot handle it. She's the worst
Backseat driver?
driver. Yes. She
Angela.
just, watch the car. And I'm yeah, I know how to drive.
Right. It's
I see
do
the
this
car.
a lot,
Yeah,
Angie.
I'm used to this. I promise I'm being safe.
Yeah. And I mean, driving out here, you just have to accept that you're going to cut people off and people are going to cut you off. And cars have brakes for a reason.
Also, I've become
just
a
pay
faster
attention.
driver since moving
Yeah,
out
me
here.
too. On the way back from, I was paintballing this weekend. On the
Again,
way back,
safe,
I caught myself
but-
going 95, and I was like, okay, maybe that's a little too fast.
It's so easy to. I don't think I go that fast, but I do catch myself going 80 a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm just I really am, unless it's bumper to bumper traffic. Obviously, you're not going to. But if there's not a lot of traffic and you're on the freeway, everyone is going 80 or
so
above,
fast.
and it's so easy to just go with the flow, go with traffic, and it's an open road and it's whatever. And I find that I also do it because a difference is that in the Midwest, it's often like so many trees and like forests and stuff, and the cops will like be hiding behind those. They can't do that here. They're out in the open. You see them. Like, you'll see them up ahead. Like, once in a while, it's like, oh, they were kind of hiding, but it's harder for them to out here.
And I don't even really see them do it that much, at least not on the freeways.
No,
like they're rarely like sitting somewhere trying to catch you.
Yeah,
It's
they
just,
really
like,
aren't. But like, if they are, you can like see them up ahead and know to slow down. So like, it's never really like, oh, be careful because you never know if you might zoom past it, which I think happens in the Midwest a lot though,
for sure.
because they're always like hiding in the little like back roads and stuff,
or just those like things in between the highways that are always wooded, so you can't see until you're like right there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
there was like 10 of those going up from like Madison to Merrill, and I had to be careful every time. But I don't think I ever got a ticket for one of those. Not one of those on the way from Madison to Merrill. At least I definitely did somewhere around like Platteville once. So dumb.
I've never gotten a ticket. I got pulled over.
You've never gotten a ticket?
No, I've gotten pulled over once, and I
cried.
Of course. Of course I did. But also, it was so annoying because I was on my way like to see my family. I think they were somewhere in Minnesota though, but I was leaving La Crosse, and it was like dark out and stuff, and I wasn't like, I don't think I was going that fast. Honestly, you're going to be like, okay, but I swear to you, the car in front of me, there was a truck that sped past me, and then I got pulled over, and I was like, you're kidding me.
I actually believe that for
like,
sure.
I was so mad. Like, I was like, okay, maybe I was speeding a little, but I like for sure was not going more than 10 over because it was 65, and I was also had just come off of a hill.
Oh, that's fucked that they sit there because it's like,
I was
faster.
so mad. And then like a month later, that same road, the speed limit went up to 70.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like terrified, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, my parents are gonna be so mad. And like I think I was like speeding a little bit because I was like running a little late. But I also had like driven on that road so many times that like I knew not to, like I know that they're like hiding there, and then I still got pulled over, and I cried, and I had never like, I didn't have any run-ins with the law otherwise. So like, he just gave me a warning, and it was fine.
Nice.
Yeah,
I think I swear, so I've gotten 3 speeding tickets in my life. One when I was like 17, and it was on the way out to my place. It goes from like 25 to 35 around this like bend. And honestly, it's kind of a long stretch where it's like the 25 probably could turn to 35 earlier. Yeah. So I started speeding up earlier, and of course he was sitting there at this corner. Like, I drove by him, and like before he even pulled out, I started pulling over to the side because I knew he was
Was that the first time you got pulled over?
That was the first time, yeah.
So the first time you got pulled over for speeding, you got a ticket?
Yeah. I've never gotten pulled over for speeding and not gotten a ticket. I've been pulled over 3 times, got a ticket every time.
You gotta cry.
I will. Yeah, I guess I gotta work on that. That's why I'm in these acting classes, baby. The second time though, I got pulled over on the way, another Merrill spot, on the way out to Walmart area. It used to be 35 sooner, but they extended the 25.
They like changed it where it was like, it's like now
so it's
25.
Even slower to get out there.
Yeah.
And so I got pulled over. The plus side of that one though was the officer was like, I forget what the terms are for it, but he's like, I'll do this thing for you where like you can meet with, or he told me about something where I can meet with like some official with the Merrill Justice Department or whatever, and if I don't like get pulled over or do anything illegal in a year, like they'll just erase the ticket and I won't have to pay anything. So I did that, and actually I showed up for the meeting, and I sat there for like 5 minutes, and the secretary got a call, and she was like, hey, I'm sorry, something happened, he's not going to make it in. So he said, you're good, just like don't worry about it. So,
nice.
Yeah, so I never had to pay that ticket, and I believe it's off my record completely now, but then, yeah, there was one more when I was like 22, where it was like a classic, like sitting behind like a billboard on the highway, and I was like barely going over. Like, it was one of the quickest interactions ever. Like, I barely went over the speed limit. He pulled me over, grabbed my license, went back, gave me a ticket, said have a nice day, drove off. I was like, that's so fucked. It's just like,
that's so annoying. Yeah. Anyways, so that was kind of a tangent.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was. Yeah, that's all right.
But Yeah, the traffic. And then to go into the weather.
The weather.
Tell me how you feel about the weather in the Midwest versus
I love the Midwest in the summer. The summer weather in the Midwest, beautiful. Maybe a bit humid at times.
A bit humid. The mosquitoes I could do without.
But overall, love it in the summer. In the winter, I fucking hate it. I love snow. Snowboarding is great. I love doing it. And just a white Christmas is great.
Christmas. Mm-hmm. The month of December, sure. Give me all the snow.
Cold,
January 10th, it can go away.
Yeah. And I mean, just cold in general. I hate like waking up in the morning.
The like negative temperatures.
Having to like go out to your car early to start it. Yeah, scrape it off, start it up so it can warm up.
Yeah.
Just a lot to hate about the cold.
Really, there really is. Also in college, having when it starts to like have those months where it snows and then you can only alternate street parking because of the things coming by. That was always annoying. I got a parking ticket once because of that.
I'm sure a lot of people
because I went to a house party and I parked because during the day it was that, and I remember being like, oh, I have to go like move my car. It literally was like maybe 10 minutes after midnight. Maybe I walked out to my car and I had a ticket.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
But parking tickets in La Crosse were like $15. They're not like the $70 that they are out here.
Yeah. Mine was $90, remember?
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Fuck.
Stupid.
So stupid. And Madison was a pretty big campus and we walked to class a lot too. Like walking in like 5-degree weather, just fucking miserable.
Awful.
Like I never want to do that again.
No, I hate being cold. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful here pretty much every day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like even now, December, it was like 65 degrees and sunny today.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We had our windows open for a little bit.
Yeah. I went for a walk in shorts and a t-shirt. It was a little chilly.
I was gonna say I wouldn't have done that, but
in the sun it was fine.
Right, when you're in the sun, when the sun goes down, it's a little chilly, but it's nice to like. You might have to leave your house in a jacket at night, but like you don't have to like bundle up with like hat and a scarf and like mittens and like make sure you have like warm boots on and stuff. Like you don't gotta do any of that.
Just to go in somewhere and have to take it all off.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then remember everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love the weather out here. Because also, even in the summer, like, we live in the valley, so, like, it gets hot here. But, like, it's perfect at the beach.
Yeah, the beach is a lot cooler over summer than here. But, like, very perfectly cool. Like, high 70s, low 80s maybe.
Yeah. Just enough of an ocean breeze where you're like, oh, that's nice, but you're not like cold from the ocean breeze. Like if I went to the beach now, I would be cold. But
yeah, you would be pretty chilly now.
Yeah, but yeah, big fan of the weather here.
It's one of the best parts about living out here, honestly.
It is, and if you want the snow, like
not that far,
because California as a state has seasons. LA does not really. Right. I feel like we kind of have a little bit of a fall. But like not really.
Yeah. But like I feel like the fall for us
fall
is like
isn't
winter.
Until like like it's not like now we're in fall.
Right.
Basically.
Fall just started in December and then it'll be right back to summer when spring comes. Yeah. But I love the weather right now because it is a little cooler, but still nice out.
And I do love wearing a nice sweater.
Yeah, you know. Oh, shoot, there was something I had and I lost it. I don't know.
That's okay. Maybe it'll come to you.
And
there it is.
It came to me.
Okay.
I was just thinking, we had this conversation, but about how dry it is here compared to Wisconsin. But how our friends from Oregon, I was having a conversation with them the other night, and
they think it's humid here. Because, you know... It's not so much the heat, it's the gosh darn humidity.
But yeah.
But it's not humid here.
No.
Hannah and Kendall.
But
Wisconsin.
Yeah, especially like August. I remember
so
high
humid.
school, like when 2-a-days started for like soccer.
Also, I apologize for the noise that I just made. I just act how I would normally act, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, there's a microphone in front of me, you know? But yeah, the humidity in the summer will... Yeah. Because people, I think, sometimes forget. They're like, oh, Wisconsin, like, it's so cold there. And I'm like, yeah, except for the 3 months of summer when it's, like, sometimes hotter than here.
That's actually a great point. There are a lot of people that, like, when you say you're from Wisconsin, clearly have no idea what it's like in Wisconsin because they're like, oh, there's like snow there all the time, right?
And like,
it's like, granted, well, summer is nice. Like,
granted, like, there's snow most months of the year. I'm not gonna lie.
And we've had snow in May before.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, sometimes it will snow from like September to May, and you're like, okay,
that's
excessive, but people forget that it gets really hot there too. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I tell people all the time that, like, summer in Wisconsin is, like, my favorite place in the world. I love it. Like, freshwater lakes, just the air smells so much better than out here.
Well, because the air quality here is not ideal.
True.
If it is a nice day out, I have to point it out. Like, if it's not foggy, if it's not hazy from the pollution, and, like, I go on a hike or something and I can see far, I'm like, wow, it's so clear today. Like, I have to point it out. It's like when it rains in LA. You have to.
Oh, my God.
You have to be like, it's raining. Like, like, you can't, but you know what I mean? Like, you can't not do it.
I remember a couple months ago when there was a thunderstorm here, like, there were news channels, like Instagram accounts that literally like posted like pictures of lightning. Like, look at this. And it's like, what?
Because even if it rains, we hardly ever get thunderstorms. Right.
A lot of times it's like a sprinkle for a little part of a day, you know?
Yeah. I remember that. That's so funny.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I saw that. And like people sharing it too. Like it was this insane thing. I was like, it's just lightning.
But I mean, if you don't grow up with it though, it's like how some people have never seen snow.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if you don't grow up with it and then you don't travel to a place that has it, or you travel to that place when they don't have snow, that's wild.
We were born into it.
Yeah.
Molded by it.
Shaped us. What other differences?
We hit traffic and weather so far.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind is food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about it? Tell me more.
The biggest thing, Oh, I'd love to. I think the biggest thing is the diversity of food selection here.
Here, yeah.
Compared to the Midwest, which I'm sure that's true for any smaller cities and towns. Obviously, they're not going to have as much options as somewhere like LA.
I mean,
but
our hometown especially.
Exactly. We're kind of talking about this through the lens of our experience, which is a 10,000 person town.
Not even
anymore. That's right.
Sad. I can't imagine why.
But there's just so many options out here.
Yeah, I love my sushi. Can't get that back home.
Right. Well,
if I went to a big city back home, and like if I went to like Milwaukee or something, yes. But like,
also I thought I saw Days County Market started selling.
That's
sushi.
Not sushi. So. That's nope.
Sushi and marrow, baby.
No.
Enjoy it, folks.
No, I don't trust grocery store sushi.
I've eaten it out here before.
That doesn't surprise me.
It was pretty good.
That doesn't make it more convincing.
It wasn't bad.
That actually makes it more like
spicy tuna.
That kind of reiterates my fact that I shouldn't do it, you know?
I didn't die, and I actually got it multiple times.
Again, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good as real sushi, but it's edible.
Okay. But the Midwest does have superior fish fries.
Oh, so much better fish fries. Like their fish fry. I had a fish fry here the other day and it was good. It's fine, but there's just something about a Midwest fish fry that's so much better.
And the cheese?
the cheese curds
cheese
in
is
Wisconsin
so much better.
specifically too.
The fact that most people don't even know what a cheese curd is.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, there's a fair amount of restaurants out here that you'll find the menu will say like Wisconsin cheese curds, and it's like, oh, but then you try it and like they're fine, but they're never as good as from the source,
right?
From the springs of Wisconsin.
They just grow up from the ground.
Springs,
but out here has better
Mexican for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Street tacos.
Oh my god, street tacos.
Whew.
There's some of the best burrito I've ever had in my life. Poppy's Tacos and Churros here. So good.
Poppies?
Poppies, enchiladas. There's a place called Salsa and Beer by where we used to live.
Oh yeah, no,
that is actually
I'm
really
telling
good.
you. I mean, there's multiple salsa and beers, so there's
That's
other
true,
locations.
yeah.
But that one, I'm pretty sure closed.
I just can't. I don't believe that. It was always busy.
That means nothing. Maybe something happened, like damage-wise, like something, and they had to like
maybe
close down, or like it was just too much to
why do you think that again? You tried to go there?
No, but I drove past it. I don't remember when I told you this, but a while ago, and it like the sign was like down, and like it looked like it had like kind of like fallen down or like something. I don't know. It wasn't on display like it normally was, and it looked like it was closed. Like it looked like it had been like out of commission.
Maybe I'll have to call this weekend and see if they're there.
I could be wrong.
I mean, I haven't been there in a while, so excuse me. It could have happened. It's hard for me.
I also was like driving, so I couldn't like stare at it, but like
right.
I saw the sign and I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. Yeah. Jinx.
Shoot. You know what? Another thing the Midwest has, Culver's.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I think I would give burgers in general to the Midwest because there's something about like a good bar burger, like bar food burger that sometimes just hits the spot. There's some good burgers out here though.
Yeah. Bloody Marys also.
Bloody Marys.
I'm not even really a big Bloody Mary fan.
I love them.
You love them?
I love Bloodies, yeah.
I'm not opposed to them. As I've gotten older, they've grown on me more. But they're more enticing in Wisconsin because they're like a whole meal.
Yeah, you get all the food on top too.
And you get, I've told you this before, you get a little chaser, if you want. And out here, I remember the first restaurant that I worked at sold Bloody Marys, and I asked the bar manager what the options for chasers are, and he looked at me like I was insane. It's not a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. No, and they just give you like a little like celery stick, and that's like kind of it.
Yeah.
Maybe a pickle. But like there's not really many like garnishes where like back home they'll put like a little mini cheeseburger on it, and like, or at the very least it will be like a pickle, a little cube of cheese, and like a little salami thing.
Yeah, I mean there are some basic ones in Wisconsin still, but I ordered one out here a while back, and they had like the regular one or like the deluxe one that has so much stuff on the top, right? And it was still just like, I wish I remembered everything, but it was basically just like a piece of bacon, like a thing of cheese, a pickle, an olive.
Probably for like what, like $20?
It had a single chicken wing on there too. Which I respect that, but like if a place was advertising like a Supreme Bloody Mary in Wisconsin, you would get like a whole burger on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to say about food?
I will say this. Wisconsin, well, let me start with this. In my 3 years here in Los Angeles, I have found a couple solid spots, but I haven't found like a great pizza spot yet. And
I'm not a big pizza gal.
Really?
That's like controversial. I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I love pizza. I just like don't.
Kendra hates pizza. You heard it here first, folks.
I just like don't find myself eating it a lot or like ordering it a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's you eat pretty healthy, and pizza's in general pretty greasy. So I can see why, like, if you do
True.
get it, it's kind of
one
of those things where you're like, well, I don't need that for a while. Again,
like I love it, but like I just don't. Yeah, I just don't eat it often. But I will agree with that because I don't hear a lot of people out here saying like, oh, you gotta go to this pizza place.
Right.
You know, like all the restaurants that people recommend to me, none of them are ever pizza places.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. I mean, I found a couple that are like solid that I'll go back to, be a repeat customer, but none that have blown me away. Okay, I really miss like Ian's and Politos. That's what I really miss.
Politos by the slice.
Yeah. Topper sticks too. Remember those? We've talked about those recently.
Have talked about Topper sticks recently.
If I could find something like that.
Listen, on a drunken night, order some Topper sticks.
If you order, like, get
and
them
the like
on
garlic
the way home.
sauce or whatever, like
the garlic butter dipping sauce. Yeah, the best one for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Domino's cheesy bread. Me and my roommates in college ordered that a lot too.
I like that, but Topper Sticks definitely takes the cake over that. Yeah, but yeah, the cheesy bread's pretty good.
Yeah. Anything else on food? Should we move on to another?
Yeah, I think we can move on. That's pretty good on food.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. We could do a whole episode on food. Honestly.
We could get in deep dive into food.
Maybe we will sometime.
I don't see why not. You know?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's talk about a less fun thing. Cost of living.
Cost of living. The worst part of living out here.
Yeah.
Why is it so expensive?
I don't know. Although I think I've shared this with you before, but I saw this tweet from Overheard LA, and it was like guy on Zoom call, like work Zoom call, and it was like guy in Tampa, something about like the prices, like the cost of living out here versus like in Florida. And then a guy in California was like, nah, some of us will gladly pay like a 9% rent tax or like whatever it is, whatever he was saying, to avoid living in Texas or Florida.
Yeah. You know, every time I like do my monthly budgets, when I try to do that, because I'm like, I need to save some money.
Good for you. I don't, because it just makes me sad.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. The worst part about it is like, it's like, okay, where can I cut money? Oh, rent, where I can't cut money because I can't find a cheaper place to live, really. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I guess I'm just stuck spending a shitload of money every month.
Yeah, and our rent just went up.
Yeah, it did.
So could have been worse though, but still not ideal. But yeah, sometimes I think about what I would be paying in Wisconsin, and it's just, or I think about like, I mean like obviously there's like you don't make as much, like minimum wages, like what half of what it is here. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's definitely
some offsetting there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I would be rich if I lived in Wisconsin. Like I wouldn't be making as much. So honestly, I probably would like even it out.
Yeah.
But I often think about, in college, I lived in a house with 4 other girls. Mm-hmm. And I paid, I think, $290. Oh. It was under $300.
Damn.
A month. And I'm just like, wow. I pay 6 times that here.
It's honestly
like I pay over $1,000 a month in rent. Isn't that insane? We pay over $1,000 a month in rent.
I know. Well, I have a friend.
Each, also, in case we need to clarify. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty.
What do you expect?
What you would expect, but like just for clarification, like each. Our total rent, and we have another roommate, is over $3,000.
I'd be willing to bet in the Midwest that's like more than a lot of people pay for their monthly mortgage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To own a home, mm-hmm. You know.
But I'm just like, wow, what I pay 1 month, I paid, like, that would give me, like, 4 months of rent. Mm-hmm. Like, a fourth of the year. I just throw away
all the money
every month.
You have saved up, like. And also, you would just have so much more space too. I remember the last place I lived, like I had my own bedroom, which was bigger than my current bedroom. Plus, like we had another like 2 dens basically. So I just had like space for like my desk and all my guitar stuff and everything. So it was just like so nice to be able to have that without having to shove everything into one bedroom, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I lived in a house and I paid less than $300 a month. And we had like a big kitchen and then like a dining room area thing and then a living room. And then our bedrooms were upstairs. And we had a bathroom up there. And this huge bathroom downstairs.
Yeah.
With laundry. And we technically had a garage also.
Oh, really?
And a little driveway, yeah. And like we had a yard.
Yeah.
We had a porch. A screened-in porch. What do we have here?
We have in-unit laundry.
We do have in-unit laundry, which is a game changer. We're one of the few units at our complex though that doesn't have a porch.
Yeah, but
a little balcony.
We did have
I guess they're not
porches;
they're balconies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We had an option.
There was an option on the first floor,
and
there was like a balcony. I mean, it's the first floor, so it's not really a balcony, but an outdoor
But it
area.
wasn't great.
Yeah, and we just didn't love the idea of.
The layout was weird too.
Yeah.
As opposed to this one.
It was weirder than this one.
Yeah.
And I mean, truthfully, like, would it be a nice extra thing? Yeah, but our last place we lived, I didn't go out on our balcony very much.
Yeah, I
used it to like store my surfboard.
But I feel like our balcony at our old place wasn't great.
It faced like this alley and this other building.
These balconies are better. Like these balconies are better for sure.
True. For shit.
But yeah. But we said no, we'll live on the 3rd floor because there's an elevator.
Right. Little did we know.
It would never be working.
Stupid fucking elevator.
Anyways.
But at least we've never gotten stuck on it.
Yeah, no, I'm terrified about that.
I know when they tell us it's fixed again, I feel like I have to wait like a few days at least.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'll wait like a week, probably. I'm not going to trust it. I'm not going to be the first one going up there. That's for damn sure. Yeah, cost of living, but it's just like one of those things where it is what it is.
Right, like
it's not enough to deter me from like not living out here.
Yeah.
And when our careers kind of require us to be out here, it's like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know? Like
if you
don't really have an option.
If you didn't want to be an actor, if for some reason you woke up tomorrow and were like, I don't really want to be an actor anymore. Do you think you would still want to live out here, or would you then start to be like...
it depends. Would I make more money? Because then, yeah, for sure.
You mean staying out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's say...
Yeah, because I love Wisconsin. I don't think... And maybe it would be different if like I lived in like Milwaukee or Madison or something. But now that I've lived in a big city, I never really knew that I was, but I think I'm more of like and not like New York City though, because I don't think I would like that type of like city where like you're walking everywhere and stuff. Like I kind of like how spread out LA is. But there's just like so much more to do here, which is another like big difference that maybe if I lived in like Milwaukee or something, like one of the bigger cities in Wisconsin, maybe I could do it. But I just like the small town slow pace is fine. I'm not trying to say like that's great for some people. Personally, it's not great for me.
That's fair.
And so I just don't think I would live in Wisconsin even if, but also, I mean, who knows? Because who knows if I ever would have, I'd like to think even if I wasn't gonna, even if I didn't want to be an actor, I still feel like after college, I probably would have moved somewhere. But also, who knows? Because depending on like my job and stuff, like now that I have a niece and I have a nephew on the way, like I do miss them a lot, and I wish I was closer to my family. So like, who knows? Maybe I would have moved back to be closer to my family. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
those are tough things to like sort out. I definitely would have, even if I didn't want to be an actor, would have moved somewhere. Not LA though.
Yeah.
I probably would have went to like Colorado somewhere.
I was just gonna say I would live in Colorado. Yeah. I would love to live in Colorado. Yeah, I love Colorado.
I do kind of want to live in New York for a few years though. Like, don't get me wrong, I much prefer having a car.
I've actually never been there, so I shouldn't really like say anything about it. But
for me, there's something about like the safety of having a car and being like, I can drive somewhere if I need to, and it's easy enough. And like, I like listening to music in the car and stuff like that. Where like it's cool to me that like, oh, New York, you can walk everywhere and take the metro, but then part of me is like, but I want to have my car.
And then when it's snowing or it's raining, and then it's like, sure, you can put on a raincoat and rain boots, but then it's like if you have to go somewhere again, then okay, are you just gonna walk around in your rain boots then when you get there, or are you gonna change into your shoes? And if you do that, then what are you gonna do with your rain boots? There's logistics here, people, that I think people forget about.
And Kendra hasn't.
I haven't. I think about them. Listen, I'm an overthinker, so I've thought about all of these things.
You were almost gonna live in Chicago.
I was, yeah. But that was kind of just because I needed to move somewhere for acting, and I was just scared to move out here by myself, I think. And I was like, okay, Chicago's closer to home.
Right. Easier to move to.
I like knew some people there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I knew people out here. Like Sam and Lydia were already out here.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
But like neither of them really lived like the first year when I moved out here, Lydia and I lived a decent amount away from each other. Like it took a good amount of chunk of time to see each other. And like I knew I wasn't like going to be living with either of them and stuff, and so and I knew of some people that were like moving to Chicago, so it was like, okay, maybe I could live with them. Yeah. And then because I really didn't want to have to find a random roommate.
Oh yeah, no.
That scared me a lot.
Especially
going and like Chicago, like, listen, not by much, but like was slightly cheaper.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just do that. But then when I heard you were moving out here, I was like, oh no, I actually wanted to move to LA. I just didn't have anyone to go with. Yeah. So thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You had mentioned something there that is, I feel like, worth talking about. How far away Lydia had lived when you first moved out here, and LA is such like a sprawling area, and especially when talking to when you talk to people that aren't from out here, like we wouldn't tell someone we live in Sherman Oaks. If someone's like, "Where are you from?" We'd be like, "LA."
LA, yeah.
But like somebody would also say that if
I remember. Wait, I'm sorry. I have to.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a Kyle story. Oh. I remember when I was home last summer for a wedding, and somebody asked me where I live, and I said LA, and Kyle said LA. That's such an LA thing to say. And I was like, what do you want me to say? Like, I live in LA. Am I supposed to just pretend I don't? Yeah. Like, I was so like, he was so like, ugh, LA. And I was like, what am I supposed to say? That like, that's literally where I live. Like, but but technically it's, we do live in LA, but we live in
but like, there's so many other parts of LA as well that are so far away. Like, and you're still LA. And I noticed it when I first moved out here.
I've noticed that some people view LA, like some people view it differently. Because there are parts where like people be like, that's not LA. But then some people be like, yeah, that's LA.
Yeah. I'm pretty generous with that's LA. Like, I consider most places LA.
Like what?
Well, I mean, what places do you hear people say aren't?
Well, like I wouldn't like consider like Venice and Santa Monica are close, but I wouldn't say that they're LA.
Really?
No, you would. Say they're LA. You would say Santa Monica if someone was like, "Oh, I live in Santa Monica." You'd be like, "Oh yeah, you live in LA."
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Really?
No, not really. And I think also because I think Santa Monica is more recognizable that like you don't have to like where we live, like where we've lived, North Hollywood, Valley Village, and Sherman Oaks, like people don't know those as their own thing. I kind of thought people would for North Hollywood, and even then people were like, I don't know where that is, and I was like, oh, okay, it's Hollywood, but north.
What about like West Hollywood? Do you consider that LA?
Yeah,
Beverly Hills.
I mean, I guess I would have to.
I do too.
Although Beverly Hills, also seems different.
It's very knowable on its own, and it's so bougie that it does feel a little
LA,
different. Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like get that you could be like Santa Monica is its own thing and it is super recognizable. But to me, it's just like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because I do recognize all these places. Like, there's a lot of places out here that are their own thing.
Yeah.
That to me, like, we're still in the LA metropolitan area, so to me, that's LA. Like, don't get me wrong. In LA, if you're talking to someone and they were like, "Where do you live?" You wouldn't say Los Angeles. You would say Santa Monica. But like, I feel like if we lived in Santa Monica and we went back home and someone was like, "Where do you live?" I'd probably still say LA half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, or sometimes I just say, like, to people out here, I'll say, like, the Valley.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Because sometimes people still don't know.
Yeah, people aren't
like,
sure where Sherman Oaks is.
I feel like when I say, like, it's near Studio City, though, people recognize Studio City.
Yeah.
More.
I feel like Van Nuys is pretty recognizable, too, which is surprising.
Yeah, kind of,
like,
yeah.
Why more than Sherman Oaks?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's interesting. But are you saying that because, like, back home you can just say where you're from and people, like, immediately know where it is? Because I feel like people in Wisconsin know all the Wisconsin city, like, for the most part.
At the very least, pretend to. Because I've been there where people are like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah, you know where this is, right?" Totes. You just, like, take I-95 up another 30 miles and you head east for a little while. And then you're like, "Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
But whereabouts, yeah. But a lot of people do know that shit. If you say, who is really good at it? I think Ryan Barker is incredible. If you, like, mention an area of the state, he'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's by this place. And there's, like, this really nice fishing lake there." And it's impressive to watch.
Wow. Yeah, people out here don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I think our last big one is, and we've kind of already touched on this, but things to do.
Things to do. We're
talking about a to-do list.
There are so many concerts and sporting events and everything going on here all the time. And
Farmers
even if
markets.
they're not big ones, like, because this is a city full of performers, like, you can find something, maybe a friend doing comedy or doing music or something. You can go see something live that is, like,
theater,
cool at all times.
Yeah, like I said, like, farmers markets and, like,
there's, like, sports leagues. I play soccer, and, like, because there's no snow, we play year-round outdoor soccer, which is great.
I've been to a running club once, but I do intend to go more. And like, even in, like, now in the winter, like, even though we don't have winter, like, there's a lot of places that, like, try to make it seem like winter, that, like, put up, like, big Christmas trees and, like, there's still, like, skating rinks and stuff, and places that will, like, have fake snow to make it seem like you're, like, in a Christmas wonderland. Is that, like, there's just so much to do here. And back home, there's just not a whole lot.
Yeah, I think where back home excels is if you love, like, outdoor nature
I was gonna
hobbies,
say,
absolutely.
Especially
like,
if
the
you're
Midwest
not
is
into.
Phenomenal.
I feel like, especially in the winter, if you're not into outdoorsy stuff,
then it's like,
then you really are, like, very limited in what you can do. Because, like, if you don't like skiing and snowboarding and ice fishing and, like, snowmobiling and that sort of stuff, in the winter, it's like, what are you gonna do then?
Yeah.
That's why people drink so much in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Because what is there to do but sit inside and drink? Honestly.
Even ice fishing, when you do that,
you
start drinking and wait for the tip-ups to pop up.
Yeah, out here there's just endless things.
There really are.
To do.
It's definitely a city you got to be careful in, though, with your money, because there is always stuff to do, but then you start spending money pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to just rack up those bills.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, but I'm having fun experiencing things, and I'm doing fun things.
I'm always like, the money will be back. It's imaginary. Like,
I always think that. I spend money And I'm just like, I'll make more.
Right.
How? Not sure yet.
Not sure.
But I will.
Sure it'll come back.
But I will.
At some
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else? Some big differences?
Big differences.
Or anything you want to know?
I got a question for you.
Yeah. You always do. So.
Yeah. I'm a curious guy.
Yeah, he's good with the questions.
Yeah. All right, so here is my question.
Yeah. Hit me with it.
Let's say tomorrow.
Yeah.
You get a Hinge match, and it's the
God.
perfect guy. Just Taylor Swift lyrics all over his page.
First of all, that's the probability of that is slim.
But let's say it happens.
Okay.
You guys fall madly in love with
You're
each other.
optimistic. I like it.
You get married.
Okay.
You decide you want to have children, start building your family. So
little babies.
You start having kids. Would you want to stay out here to raise that family, or would you want to move closer to home?
I think. Good question. I think I feel like when I was younger, I used to think like, oh, it would be fun to like live in a big city like in my 20s for like things to do and all that. But like if I were to raise a family, I feel like I'd want to do it in like more of a smaller town, you know. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't think it really like my view on that has changed, because I do think like it would be nice to live closer to my family, like in general, and then also like when I start to have a family, just to like, you know, then kids can know their cousins, and like my parents can see their grandkids more often, and like that sort of thing. That'd be nice. However, I don't think with my career that's like really actually realistic. And two, it doesn't bother me as much anymore because I plan on being rich.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
And marrying a rich man.
Double it up.
Because I will have my own money. I don't need another man's money. His. Except for maybe right now. I need another man's money. But someday I won't. And
but for now, that would be useful.
But so like whenever I'm at that point of like having kids and stuff, I will have money to like fly home, and it won't be as big of a issue. And I feel like if all of the things that I was like, oh, it would be nice to raise a family in the Midwest, I think when I actually think about it are things that it's because I enjoyed growing up in the Midwest when I look back, and I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed living in Four Seasons and that sort of thing. But it's like my kids, if they're born here, that's all they're going to know. So they're not going to like feel like they're missing out. Right. I will feel like they're missing out because of my own childhood, but they're not going to. Right. So like everything that I think about, I'm kind of like projecting onto them, and like they're not actually gonna like they probably, you know, as long as I give them like a loving home, like they're gonna grow up and have a happy childhood, and they're gonna be fine. And there is so much to do here that like it's not like there will be a lack of ways for them to have a fun, enjoyable
They'll build lots of memories still, and like
and like again, I plan on having money, so like I'll be able to at that point like afford a home. So because I've kind of thought about that of like I enjoyed having a yard, so I'm like, oh, my kids have to have a yard. But again, if they grow up in an apartment, they're gonna be fine. So many people do. And like I live in an apartment right now, and like it's fine, you know, like there's really no like it's not a big deal. It's just, so I think now I'm okay with it. I wouldn't want to live downtown, but like an area like this, like or like Burbank and stuff, like there are nice areas where like they're very, you know, you feel like you're out of the city and you're just in like a nice little neighborhood, and they seem very, honestly, like Midwest. Like it feels like a Midwest neighborhood, and so I don't really have a problem with it anymore, because I think I've realized everything that I was thinking, again, were just my own projections. Like maybe I shouldn't do that to my theoretical children, you know?
Your kids that aren't even born yet, already putting that on them. But no, you're totally right. I just went for a walk today, not very far from our place at all, like 5 minutes. And I was in this neighborhood that was like so nice, and they all had like little yards, and like the trees were changing colors there, and there were like leaves on the ground, and I was like, it's so nice back here. And you couldn't, you know, hear the hum of traffic like you can usually when you're close to the 101 or anything like that. And it was like, living back here, you do just feel like it's a small neighborhood. Like, sure, the houses are a little closer together than they are in the Midwest, but like still a very nice area to live. Yeah. I think I
mean, like, what about you? Like,
yeah, well, I definitely think you nailed it on the head with the money thing, because I think that's been my biggest worry. Like, if I wasn't making enough money here, that would be like a big driving force in being like, you know what, maybe I do want to live closer to the Midwest one, because it's less expensive to, you know, there's more assistance, you know, it takes a village to raise a child, and what closer to family would make that easier. But if I did, you know, assuming in a year I'm a successful actor and making millions of dollars,
and you will be
manifesting
it. We're putting that out into the universe.
Then it would be a lot easier, because also, when I'd be able to afford a nice place to live, and you know, there's plenty of people that grow up in apartments, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But like you had touched on, I grew up in a house with a yard, and there's just part of me that like wants to be able to give my kids that as well too. Yeah. As far as being away from family, again, if we had money, I would be able to fly my parents out. I would be able to fly people out that I want to see my kids. I would be able to fly back and visit them. You know,
Polly and Jay, did you hear that? He's gonna fly you out.
Well, they've been flying me out for years. So, I will say this though, there is definitely a heavy draw of wanting my kids to be able to be close to like extended family though, because like I grew up and both my sets of grandparents were in the same town. Like most of my aunts and uncles and cousins were all there. So like I had all this extended family that I saw for birthdays all the time over the year and was very close with. And I know with like FaceTime and everything, you can still like have good relationships with that, but it's
different.
Yeah, it is. And even like this is less, I'm just thinking of things from my childhood now that I'm like, that would be nice, you know? Like being able to play outside and go for bike rides, and we biked all over town, and like not a worry in the world about that. And like I would love for my kids to be able to experience that, but like I wouldn't want them biking all over LA, like with the traffic and the driver's seat and everything. Like so, but again, maybe like there are really nice neighborhoods that if I had enough money, they could do that just fine, and it wouldn't be an issue. So I guess that's what it all comes down to. Yeah, I would like to stay because, like I said, I do hate the cold. Yeah, and and it would
be fun to live like near the beach, to like take them to the beach and stuff. So
yeah, and there is just so much to do out here. So yeah, I guess I would still live here. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me, old Kenny? Kenny Two Shoes?
Old Kenny? I hated that. You can call me Kenny, not old Kenny. Old man.
Young Kenny? Y-U-N-G?
Stop it.
Young Joka?
Stop it. Oh, God. Old Noah, I do have a question for you. Uh-huh. Okay.
What?
Huh? Top 5 things you miss about the Midwest.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hit me with it.
Top 5.
Yeah, okay. we'll go back and forth. So you say one.
I like that. Yeah. One would be, we briefly mentioned this a little bit, but like seasons, and especially fall.
Yeah, you're a big fall guy.
Like the trees all changing colors. And like I said, there are spots.
Crisp air.
Where you can see, yes, the air is just, it's just cool enough to like be refreshing, but not cold where like your nose hurts from breathing it in, like in the winter. Right. And the trees are just so pretty. And, you know, there's some places where some trees are changing out here, but like in Wisconsin, it's just like everywhere. It's just like beautiful colors. And you know, the outfits are so great in the fall. Everything just feels good in the fall,
okay.
you know?
Yeah. Okay, my first one I think that I'm going to go with is Summers on a Lake.
Summers on the Lake. I mean,
you can't beat it.
You can't. That's why I said, like, summers in Wisconsin, one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you actually grew up on a lake. But my mom's parents lived in Tomahawk, so very close to Merrill. And they lived on a lake. Yeah. So I was there.
Well, there are tons of lakes
all the time. Yeah, but I was there all the time. Like, I loved that. Just boating, being out in the sun. You could go swimming and not have to worry about salt water.
I hate it.
I hate the salt water.
I
love the ocean. Don't get me wrong. Ocean, I am not hating on you. I love you so much. Your sunsets, beautiful, gorgeous. I just can't do the salt in my mouth. I can't do it.
I kind of hate
what?
Is the sand at times. Like putting sunscreen on when it's sandy.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And there's like.
That's fair.
And I know that's like pretty much what the beach is, the ocean and the salt.
Yeah, it's kind of the concept of it.
Yeah,
it's kind of the concept of it. Yeah.
I still like it. I just much prefer being able to.
Yeah.
Jump in and get out and not feel like dry and like that saltiness and then.
Yeah.
We're just saying, I don't know. Even just like floating in fresh water is so nice.
I was gonna say just like floating in the water or like tubing. It's a good time. So, jet skis.
Jet skis.
Yeah. So yeah, that's mine.
That's a good one.
That's my first one.
Yeah. All right. So number two for me, kind of inspired by yours. So I think it's different enough that it's fair.
Okay.
Like freshwater fishing.
Oh yeah, that's very different. Yeah.
Well, it's like on the lake, which kind of is included in that, but
I didn't
specifically
mention fishing, though,
yeah, because there is fishing out here. Like there are some freshwater spots. I guess I haven't gone. I just haven't heard great things. And like you can do, deep sea fishing, but you have to rent a boat and pay for someone to take you out and all that stuff. Or you can fish off the piers, but that always looks awful to me.
I feel like people are always annoyed. I'm always annoyed when people are fishing off the pier.
Like, and there's just so many people that I wouldn't be able to be like feel comfortable like doing any of that.
Yeah.
And whereas like fishing,
and I think that's what I mean. Like I think that's why people are like annoyed because the people that do fish off, they like don't care. And sometimes I'm like, can you watch where you're like throwing your pole, please? Because I'm right here.
Yeah, but in Wisconsin, it's so nice.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay. Drink prices.
Can't beat them in Wisconsin.
Do you remember like Brothers and they'd have those like wristband nights?
Mm-hmm.
And how much were wristbands? Like
weren't they only like
for some reason $8 or $12
I was
comes to
say
my mind.
7 for a reason, but then I thought maybe it was a double digits, but like barely. Yeah.
But like
yeah.
So nice. And like a beer's probably like $5, a cocktail's maybe like 8 or 9 maybe.
Even, I bet.
Maybe 10 if you're like at a fancier restaurant.
Yeah.
But like out here, standard cocktails are like $15, $16.
You're not getting under double digits at all.
Like nice rooftop bar, they're over $20. And like if it's like 13, I'm like, oh, that's a cheap cocktail.
Yeah.
And I'm like impressed. Besides Añejo's Happy Hour, which is a great bar on Ventura. That has like $6 during their happy hour. It's from like noon to 5 every day. Have gotten tipsy more than once at that happy hour. And their margaritas, which are strong, they don't skimp on their alcohol on their happy hour drinks, are like $5 or $6.
Oh, see, that's a good deal.
So I can get thoroughly drunk for $12.
And there's just, it feels like every night at a bar, wherever you're drinking in Wisconsin, there's a deal on something.
On something, yes.
Like maybe one thing won't be that cheap that night, but one thing is really cheap. I remember there was a bar.
Not.
Oh, yeah, rarely.
And you will.
If there is a deal, you're like, that's a deal?
2 drinks, and like after tip, you easily have spent like $40.
Yeah. There was a place in Madison that on Thursday nights from like 9 to 10 was 25-cent PBR, and then 10 to 11, 50-cent PBR, Then 11 to midnight, 75-cent PBR. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't drink the PBR, but incredible.
I would, prices. And I did. It was such a great deal.
I'm telling you, this episode is not surprising me at all with what you're saying. But yes, so that's mine.
That's
drink
a good
prices.
one. That is a great one. So that was 2 for each of us, right? Or were we on 3? No, I think that was.
Nope. I think that was.
I did.
Yeah, because you started.
Yeah.
So I just did my second. So
cool.
Hit me with your third.
Number 3.
Yeah.
I would say my number 3, a little more personal to me, not as relatable to other people.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Is my parents' dogs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there
I love
it is.
It so much. My
there
parents
it is.
have 4 Bernese Mountain Dogs, giant monsters.
Their names?
Their names are Bowie, Baxter, Reggie, and Bandit.
Poor Reggie.
Poor Reggie. When we got
They're
him,
so cute, though.
Oh, I love them. They're the best dogs, and like Bernese Mountain Dogs just have such a great temperament. They're just like so
they're
lovable.
So chill.
And yeah.
They're so
But they're
chill.
so excited when they see you at first. Like
they
when
are.
I get home, like just 4 like 150-pound blobs come sprinting at me.
I remember when I came over to your place before we moved out here to like look at places, and they all like came barreling, and Polly was like, boys, leave her alone.
I came back one winter, and it was just one outside at first, Bowie. He's the roundest one.
Yeah, the roundest. That's a nice way
But
to
he
put
comes running at me so excited. And our driveway was pretty slick at the time with snow. And so he's running at me and couldn't stop and just fucking slams into my legs and like takes me out. But it was so worth it. I just love those dogs so much.
Yeah, you do love them. Okay, third one for me. Kind of going off of the drink prices, bar hopping. It's not something, I don't know why I thought of this, because it's not something that like I really do anymore as I've gotten older, and honestly didn't do it a whole lot in college either. But I do feel like because LA is so spread out, there's not really a place besides maybe WeHo, which I do enjoy WeHo. I have to be in the right mindset because WeHo's a lot, because it's just a lot of high energy people. And it feels more, to me, some people would be like, it's not, but to me, it feels more like clubby because they're just like blasting music and like, but like, it's a fun time if like, you know,
if that's your thing,
if I'm feeling it. I usually feel like I'm never drunk enough for it. Like I'm always like, I'm too sober for this. But, like besides WeHo, I feel like there isn't really an area where like there's a good, like decent, like stretch of bars, because like there's restaurants and little shops that are like that like break them up and stuff. And because it's so spread out, like if you're like, oh, let's go to this bar, and then someone's like, oh yeah, like let's hit up this bar, you usually have to like drive there or something. And like in Wisconsin, there's so many areas that it's just bar after bar after bar after bar, and you just park and walk and you're good to go.
Yeah, it feels like every like Midwest town has that like one street at least where there's like a bunch of bars right there. Like State Street for Madison, like Water Street in Milwaukee.
And it's just, again, it's not something that I do often, but like if I wanted to, it would be hard to do out here, I feel like.
Like there's those couple we've gone to on Ventura that are close enough that we go down and walk to both of them, or maybe
but again,
3 of them.
we always go to the same ones because they're all like right where like I feel like in La Crosse, like there were nights that me and my friends would go out, and there were so many that like you usually went to the same one, but like some nights it was like, let's go hit up the library tonight, or like we didn't want to go there, or it was too busy, so we were like, let's go to Brothers or to Broncos or like whatever. Yeah, like he had State Street, like there's a lot.
And also like Ubering was way cheaper. There. If you take like a Lyft or Uber downtown and home, it's not that bad.
It's so
here you're like, especially if you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out in Santa Monica. It's like, okay, fuck me.
Great. I will sober up so I can drive home because So that's mine.
That is good.
So so number 4.
Number 4. Here we go. My number 4 is
dun dun dun
dun dun dun. My number 4 is campfires in the summer, like bonfires.
Ooh,
you know,
that's a good one.
Like you can, like we've had fires out here on the beach, which is really cool,
which is fun. Yeah, it's its own thing.
Yeah, but there's just something about like a bonfire.
Yeah,
Wisconsin summer night. You know, it's cooled down quite a bit at night.
Yeah.
But the fire just burns so good. And you know, the other thing out here is I've gone camping out here, and a lot of times you can't have a fire because of fire warnings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, you can always have a fire in Wisconsin, it feels like.
Yeah.
So I miss that because I love sitting around a campfire.
One.
It's so nice.
It's so nice. That's a good one. My fourth one. I'm gonna go sporting events.
Sporting events.
Yeah. Because obviously there's tons of.
I was gonna say there are a lot out here,
but there's something about like. I feel like collectively in Wisconsin, like nobody goes out on Sundays. Like, you know, like everyone's like, oh, it's Packer Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go to a bar, it's only going to be playing the Packer game. There's tons of bars that you can watch sports out here. But like your team might be playing on 2 of those TVs.
Right.
And it's just not the same because like not everyone in the bar is like rooting for your team. You know,
there's so many transplants here too that it's like, yeah.
And also, a lot of the times, it's hard for me to even watch a Packer game out here. Like,
oh yeah, to get it on
to even get it because it's like not showing on TV. So yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I've noticed out here too in regards to sports, just people in general don't care about them as much. Like back home, if I brought up like, oh, do you guys see like if there was like a good Sunday night football game, regardless of the teams, if I was like, you see that game?
Well,
like,
yeah, because there's a lot more. Just with how many people there are out here, there's obviously a very much more diverse group of people. And there's a lot of people that just like sports aren't their thing.
Yeah, which is fair.
It was
just a little weird to me at first when I like tried to bring it up.
Back
and, like,
home, a lot of people, sports is their thing. Yeah.
Right. It was kind of like a safety conversation, especially with like other guys. Like it feels like the safest thing to be like, dude, did you see the Bucs game last night? Or like, did you see the Packer game or something? Like you could always do that. And it's like, perfect. We've got a conversation to lead into something. Here you say it and you're like, they're like, I don't really watch sports.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
And because people are transplants, like there's so many, like, even if they do watch sports, the chances of them having the same team as you are like slim. Yeah. So it's like, okay, never mind. Yeah.
That's a good one though.
So last one. Yeah.
Top 5 things.
What's it gonna be?
Top 5 things I miss about the Midwest.
What's your last one?
I got a good one for you.
Okay. The way that you're looking at me, I know it. The way that you're saying it,
the boys. We love the boys.
We do love the boys. Shout out the boys.
Shout out the boys. That applies to so many people out there. And almost all of them are in the Midwest, so we miss the boys.
Yeah.
It's the perfect number 5, you know?
Yeah. That's a good. I mean, that's a good one. That's fair. They're your best friends. Obviously, you'd miss them. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it goes without saying that I miss my friends and family.
Right.
I'm not gonna throw that out there because that's just like a.
Yeah, family was like a given.
My last one. Well, you know, I'm looking at our Christmas tree and I'm looking at our little Christmas pillow right here. I'm going to go with Christmas time.
Christmas time.
It's just better in the Midwest.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler.
Happy Honda days. Yeah, it's just.
It really
like,
is so much better.
Yeah, like, and again, out here, people do a lovely job, like, really trying hard to make it. And if I didn't grow up in, like, with snow and, like, a white Christmas all the time, it wouldn't be as much of a thing. But because I did, it just, like, doesn't, even though I hate the snow and the cold, if you'll remember, I said I don't mind it for December. So, like, just not seeing it, I, like, forget that it's December. I don't listen to as much Christmas music because, like, it just doesn't feel like I should be.
And I love Christmas music.
Same. And yeah, there's just something about, I think also there's something about Christmas in, like, a small town.
Yeah.
That, like, also just, like, it's a small town, there's snow on the ground, like, you're just cuddled up, like, watching a Christmas movie with your family, and, like, it's just so nice.
And
it's
is
just
so much
different
better.
out here. And I've spent Christmases out here. I'm going home for Christmas this year, and it will be my first time in 2 years. The last 2 years,
right.
I haven't been home for Christmas. And like they haven't been bad. And like I've had friends that like aren't able to go home either. So like we spend it together, and that's nice.
Yeah.
But it's just different.
Yeah.
So that's my last
there's
one.
something about having snow on the ground for Christmas that's just such a game changer.
Yeah. And again, I think it's because we grew up with it.
Right, absolutely.
But yeah, it's just nice.
Those are strong top 5 lists, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I throw out an honorary one?
Absolutely.
That I thought of? Quick Trip.
Oh, Quick Trip. Quick Trip. The free ATMs, people. Underrated. Oh my God. The amount of times I'd swing in there to get like a donut and an Arnold Palmer. Yes. You know, I actually
the workers are always so nice.
What do they always say? See you next time, I think.
See you next time, yeah.
Quick Trip it's so, there's nothing like it out here. Like there are 7-Elevens out here, I guess, but they're terrible. Yeah.
No. No, there isn't anything like it out here. So yeah, that's an honorary one.
So you folks back in the Midwest, savor Quick Trip.
Yeah. But yeah. That's what we think about West Coast versus Midwest.
Yeah, that's our episode. If you have any more specific questions about it for us, like comment it on our Instagram or YouTube, and we'll like respond to it.
If you have other topics that we should discuss, let us know.
Shout out Lydia and Travis again for suggesting this one.
Yep.
We got after this one 2 more episodes before we take a little break for the holidays. But we'll be back in January.
Yeah.
Probably late January, I would imagine. Yeah. Obviously, we'll be posting about it.
Yeah, because you got your film.
Yeah.
That you're doing in January. I'm working on my own film that hopefully in the new year also will start filming. So like we'll be busy, but don't worry, we'll make time for you.
We'll make time for our viewers.
We love doing this, so we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, that's it for today.
Thanks again for joining us.
Yeah,
like we always say.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.